Good evening out there in Avalanche country. This is Scott Cole, a.k.a. King Cole, here with Gregory Doudna, a.k.a. The Blood Oath, a.k.a. at Doudna Writes on Twitter. You can follow him and myself on Twitter if you would like. I'll give out my Twitter handle a little bit later in the show, as I don't want to look it up right now because I want to dive into everything that's going on hockey-wise. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of InTheCrease Hockey. We didn't go on last week because there wasn't much to talk about after only a game being played, and here we are 4 games into the season, Greg, and the Avalanche are not off to the hottest of starts.
Yeah, it's not good to see, but at the same time, it's like you have right there. Do not panic. It's funny seeing the panic that is rising in a lot of Avalanche country, and it's kind of like, guys, let's hit the Aaron Rodgers here. RELAX.
I was gonna go James Woods from Disney's Disney's Hercules as Hades. Relax, guys. It's only halftime.
Yeah, exactly.
Not quite halftime. Still, several 78 games to go. 77 as the Avs are up 1-0 at the first intermission in Tampa Bay tonight. A goal, fantastic looking goal by Gabe Landeskog going to the net. As McKinnon pushed the puck over to the net after Byram kind of whipped it into the zone. So great start there. But yeah, don't panic, guys. It's early in the season. We're 5 games into the season now. Lots of new faces on this team. We continue to build on that chemistry and everything else. And speaking of chemistry, you were replacing several key factors on this team. Matt Calvert's gone. He retired due to ongoing concussion issues and other related injuries he sustained throughout his career. P.E. Belmar, as we've seen, is with Tampa Bay tonight. Brandon Saad went to St. Louis. Philip Grubauer is now in Seattle. You have to replace a lot of key pieces. And I know probably the biggest one on that list was people were upset with the Philip Grubauer leaving and going to Seattle. But as we've said, him and the Avalanche couldn't come to terms on a 6th year of a new contract, which is kind of what he wanted, wasn't going to get. And the trade just happened to work out. Darcy Kemper comes to town, not Devin Dubnyk. He was here last year. Darcy Kemper comes to town, and they showed the graphic earlier in the first period game against Tampa Bay. Since 2017, Darcy Kemper's had a 2.24 goals against average. And he's above Philip Grubauer, and is against the competing goaltender tonight in Andrei Vasilevsky.
Yeah, I believe that Darcy is the perfect replacement for Grubauer. And it's interesting to see a lot of people kind of blaming him for the rocky start that the Avs are having, and I don't understand it. There's so many issues that this team is facing early on that are going to work themselves out, but one thing I do not see an issue being is Darcy Kemper. The man has absolutely stood on his head when he's needed to. He's just had unfortunate team play in front of him, and is doing what he can. And the thing that we were all really excited about when he was announced that he was coming here and he got traded and everything was, we're going to see this fantastic goaltender in front of the most dominant defense in the league. Well, we haven't been the most dominant defense in the league, so how can you blame Kemper? Like, that's not it doesn't equal out there. And so again, with some time, with some patience, get that RELAX going, guys. We're going to see Kemper really, really come into his own, especially when we get Devon Toews back. We get that defensive chemistry really clicking, and it's going to turn around. It's going to be a lot of fun here soon. We just got to be patient.
Yeah, speaking of chemistry, Matt asks, is it a lack of chemistry on this team? And honestly, I would kind of lean that direction and say yes. Training camp isn't as long as we think it is. It's only 2 to 3 weeks. You've got a lot of people you're bringing up from the Eagles, PTOs, and everything else. So you're trying to see who's going to fit into this roster, and that's what this offseason training camp was. Who's going to replace those big names on your team? Jack Johnson found his way onto the team. You signed Murray, and Darren Helm came in. So you got some veteran presence there, but you're going to have to fill some holes with some rookie players. Logan O'Connor looks fantastic already early in this season. Bo Byram, healthy. He's a rookie. He's currently sitting, I think, 5th or 6th in rookie points with 5 now, as he did get credit for an assist on tonight's goal. Thankfully, he's on one of my DraftKings lists. So hey,
Nice. There you go.
what's out for me? But chemistry is going to be an issue. You have Jack Johnson, I think, playing the third pairing. Gerard playing with Eric Johnson, who missed a lot of time last year. So it's going to take a lot. And yes, people are upset with Cale Makar. He's a -7 right now. I think he's a -6 because I think he was on the ice during the goal. But he was trying to jump up in plays and create action and stuff like that. And as a defenseman, when you jump in plays or you try to cut somebody off and you miss, it's big.
Yeah. And, the thing for me too is, on top of the lack of chemistry, which I do believe there is some, I wouldn't necessarily put that as kind of the main issue. The biggest thing that we're running into is a lot of guys coming back who just weren't really on the ice all that much. I mean, Cale Makar missed all of the preseason, so he's still trying to get his legs underneath him. It looks like he's really starting to get there finally, which is nice. But you cannot simulate NHL game speed. You just can't. It doesn't matter how much you practice. It doesn't matter how much you work out. It doesn't matter how much film you watch. You cannot simulate it to the human body. So having him miss all of the preseason, yeah, that hurts a lot. Having EJ miss almost all of last season, yeah, that hurts a lot. Having Nathan missed the 2 games because of COVID. Having Landeskog miss 2 games because of suspension. You cannot simulate what it's like to get out there and grind and fight and push for wins when you're not out there on the ice. So,
I will say this: congratulations to Captain Daddy for getting the first suspension of the new NHL season. So
got started some way, man.
He's like, hey, I did what I had to do, whatever it is. Another thing to take note is, and I spoke of this on one of your posts, was we haven't played an East Coast team since mid-October of 2019. Right. And not only that, but you're talking about 3 teams at the beginning of your schedule who are all legit playoff contenders and were listed in preseason standings and everything to make the playoffs this year. So it's not necessarily something that's easy to overcome this early in the season.
Right. Now, if we had lost to Chicago, if we were losing to Columbus, if we were losing to just teams that aren't very good, I'd be a little more worried. But we're not. We're losing to really good teams. And again, we're losing because of these issues of missing players, of having players not have their legs back, of some lack of chemistry. There's enough things that will, this is a perfect point. There's 78 games left. 77 since we're in the middle of game number 5. Yeah, there's so much time left for that chemistry to click, for the legs to get back, for people to be healthy and play the way that they can. And we're not talking about a bad team that's missing their star player. We're talking about the Stanley Cup favorites missing a lot of keys. It's just there's so much of just wait that it'll be fine. It's just everyone needs to calm down, relax.
Yeah.
Mark my words. This team's going to be fantastic. We just have to wait.
It's a square peg trying to go on a round hole. If you get the belt sander on it just a little bit and shape down those edges, we'll be just fine. Exactly. We'll make it fit. We'll make it work.
That's right.
So for me, minor tweaks I want to see the Avs make. I just want to see them build up that chemistry. Stay healthy, build the chemistry, go with your depth, and do what you can. For those of you watching the game, Alex Killorn just went to the box for a 2-minute minor. Avs are on the power play. They're third of the game already. So let's hope that continues.
Yeah.
So I want to get into something that we didn't address because we weren't on last week, and that is where the Avalanche started and who was responsible for that, and finally getting his name added into the Raptors down at Ball Arena, and that's Pierre Lacroix, the architect of the Colorado Avalanche. Such a legend in the sport of hockey. Started, as a player agent. Came down with the Quebec Nordiques, and his name was raised to the Raptors along with Sakic, Kaduk, Foote, Forsberg, all those amazing players for the Avs. Last Saturday, October 16th, against the St. Louis Blues, I wasn't there in person for it. I watched the video they made for it. This guy was just a phenomenal piece of what makes Avalanche hockey even today.
Yeah, 100%. You know, without him, we don't have the Avs. It's really that simple. You know, he was instrumental in getting the franchise to move to Colorado. He was absolutely the biggest part of every big thing that has happened to this franchise. You know, the signing of or the trade for Patrick Waugh to then bring the first Stanley Cup in our first year, and you know the continued success after that. I'm going to pull this up that you'd written before. I mean, just insane things that he was able to do. 9 consecutive division titles, 6 Western Conference Finals appearances, 2 President's Trophies, 2 Stanley Cups. You know, the longest home game sellout record of 487 games. Like,
I mean, take that into account. 487 sellout games. You play 41 home games a year. You're talking about a sellout record that expanded 12 to 13 seasons of NHL hockey. Right. Not to mention any lockouts or anything that may have happened in between. So realistically, 12 to 14 seasons of NHL hockey.
Yeah. And, you know, to think about the fact that was here in Colorado, you know, it's not Toronto, it's not Montreal, it's not these places that have had franchises for almost 100 years or more. We're talking about you know, one of the newer franchises in all reality. You know, obviously there's been plenty that have come in since, you know, with like Vegas, Seattle, Minnesota, Atlanta, all that type of stuff. But, you know, in the grand scheme of things, with the NHL being over 100 years old, the Avs really, you know, 25 years old?
26.
25, yeah, 25, 26 years old. I mean, like, that is impressive to do that much, to bring in that much of a following, that much of a fan base that quickly. You know, it's absolutely amazing. And
Avalanche will always be the first championship in the city of Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
You know, exactly Denver Broncos went to a lot of Super Bowls with John Elway and everything, but you didn't win until 97, 98. Avalanche beat you there by a year. So,
yeah,
big things right there. Yeah. You know, even now, players like Tyson Jost, Cale Makar, Bowen Byram, who don't know Pierre Lacroix personally, you know, anytime his name's brought up in conversations, or so, like, I heard he's an amazing guy. I've heard he's fantastic. And it isn't just what he did on the ice, it's what he did behind the scenes, you know, off the ice with the team. It's the outreach to the community. So the Children's Hospital thing that was started by Pierre Lacroix. I think their little fashion show that they do with cancer patients and whatnot, that was something Pierre Lacroix started, and that tradition's carried on.
Yeah. Every community outreach,
it's something that he started.
Yeah. Every community outreach program that they have has all come from Pierre Lacroix. And he just, you know, he was instrumental in everything that happened with the Avs and what happened with the love that the Avs get from the state of Colorado and from around the world. And I laugh about it so much because I follow groups on Facebook and Instagram that are, you know, Czechoslovakia's Avs fans and stuff like that. That it's like, oh my God, like there's hundreds of people in other countries that are just massive, massive Avs fans. And 100% of the fact that it's because of Pierre Lacroix that we have things like this. It's just, dude absolutely deserves every bit of honor and memory that goes his way. And it really is a shame that he's gone, but you know, what a way to honor him. And I'm so glad his name is up in the rafters with the team that he created.
You know, that's an amazing thing. And even generations from now, going to Ball Arena or whatever it's going to be named in the future, or wherever wherever these banners travel, should we get a new arena or whatever, you know, 20, 30 years down the road, generations of hockey fans, Avalanche fans, are going to go to this arena with their kids, and they're going to be like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? And Pierre Lacroix is one of those names up there that is going to be immortalized in Colorado Avalanche history. So it's great to see that he won't be forgotten at any given point in time with this organization moving forward. I do want to talk about some other things, and I know we might lose a couple viewers that we have, but I do want to talk about some other things across the NHL because in the crease, even though we are huge Avalanche fans, we will talk about Avs and we'll keep you guys updated on the score as it goes on in this game. I want to talk about some other stuff going on in the NHL, man.
Yeah.
Seattle Kraken open up Climate Pledge Arena tonight versus Vancouver. The Sabres got off to a 3-0 hot start before losing last night to Boston, which was still a down to the wire game. Kucherov's out indefinitely for Tampa Bay, which Cooper's been like, John Cooper's like, he won't be out as long as he was last year for 56 games, blah, blah, blah. And we bring him back during the playoffs and we win. I'm like, okay, Cooper.
Yeah. We'll see, buddy.
You know how much I believe you? Not much at all, man. Kucherov's probably sitting somewhere drinking a scotch and smoking a cigar and just having a great time, kicking his feet up and just enjoying himself. But I think the big news here is Alex Ovechkin did not waste any time at all to start the season and taking over 5th in career goals.
Damn. Tampa just scored, by the way.
Yeah, my feed just kind of died on me, so I'm trying to get that back up and running. 734 goals all-time currently, passing Marcel Dion for 731. He needs 7 goals to tie Brett Hull, who sits in 4th at 741. And we could see that before the end of the month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, easily. I mean, the fact that, he was 1 behind Marcel to start the season, ended up picking up 2 in game 1. The dude he knows what he has to do. It's not a surprise to anybody of what's coming, what he needs to do in order to pass Wayne Gretzky. And I guarantee that's all that's on his mind, on top of winning games for his team and getting back to the playoffs and continuing dominance. But yeah, as far as the goal scorer of Alex Ovechkin is concerned, score the goals. Get the puck in the net. That's all that matters. And he's going to do that just on an insane pace this year.
Yeah, put the puck in the twine. Let's move on. Keep going, blah, blah, blah. And he's really great at it. So great at it that even with I don't know if anybody knew this. Maybe some people did. But Ovechkin only needs 5 power play goals to take over the all-time mark currently held by former Avalanche player Dave Andreychuk, who holds that record currently at 274 power play goals for a career. Mm-hmm. Can you believe that he's only 5 goals away from accomplishing this feat?
No, I had no idea, honestly, until I got in and read that on the banner. I was like, wait, what? And looked it up. I was like, whoa. I had no idea. Like, just what an absolute legend. The fact that he is as close as he is to Wayne Gretzky, who, anytime we look at Gretzky's records, we always kind of look at it of like, oh, that'll never be beaten. Like that'll just never get touched. And especially in today's NHL where goaltenders are much better, defensemen are much better.
Pads are bigger.
Pads are big. Yeah. I mean, you have so many things that kind of take away the just insane offensive numbers that Gretzky put up and Mario Lemieux put up and Jaromir Jagr and everybody from, the 70s and 80s when it was just, score as many goals as possible. That's all kind of different now, especially like I will harp on it until the day I die, the level of goaltending. And that is something that every time I hear people talk about, Gretzky would be the best, the great one today too. I doubt it, man. Look at the difference in the level of goaltending in the 70s and 80s compared to now. It is night and day. No comparison.
Butterfly wasn't a thing back in the 70s and 80s when it came to goaltending.
Right.
Goalies stood up. Mm-hmm. Very rarely would a goaltender fall down on their knees with their pads flayed out this way. Right. You were standing up the entire time, and you relied more on your stick and your glove capabilities than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the amount of footage that there is of Gretzky like coming across the blue line, just ripping a easy wrister, a quick slap shot, and the goaltender almost falling over. It's like, nah, like, dude, that would not happen today. There's no way.
I mean, majority of these goals that Gretzky scored back in the day would have been gloved or just sticked aside or blocked aside without much thought, without much flailing from a goaltender. So
Right.
it's just incredible to see what Ovechkin's able to do at such a high level. And he's faced this type of goaltending his entire career. So it's remarkable to what he sees. To what he sees. So I would recommend anybody that goes to a Washington Capitals game when he's close to these mile markers, hold on to your ticket if you're lucky to get a paper copy.
Mm-hmm.
Buy a program before you walk. When you walk in, it's $5, people. At least here in Colorado, it's $5 for a program. I don't know how much it is in Washington or whatever, but when he's on a milestone night, when he's in within 2 to 3 points, 2 or 3 goals from that point, buy a freaking program just to have a physical proof that you were there.
Yeah.
And live, because I guarantee you that program is going to be worth some money.
Yep.
Just
saying. Absolutely.
I mean, in a day where everything's digital, anything you can get as a physical copy that you were there at the game is going to be worth some money if he continues to climb up these things. Let's get Drew Lock on the ice. The Broncos aren't utilizing his swag.
That's good. That's good.
I love it. I'd want to see how he does on skates first, because I think Juan Soto of the Washington Nationals went on the ice at the Capitals, where the Capitals play, and almost smacked his face open. So I'd want to see him on the ice at a practice session before I even think about letting him sign and suit up with the Avs. The newest arena in the NHL is a Climate Pledge Arena. CP Arena is what I'm calling it. This place, just, if you haven't seen the video of this place, you haven't researched this place, this arena looks phenomenal. They took the Key Arena roof, they preserved it, they stood it up on cinder blocks, for lack of a better term, and dug a giant hole around it. Is in the middle of downtown. You can't miss it. 17,100 capacity for hockey, 17.2 for concerts, and 18,001 for basketball. The Seattle Storm of the WNBA are going to be playing here. I think there's still them trying to get an NBA team at this arena as well. It is the first building to earn a net zero carbon certification from the ILFI. The ice is made from collected rainwater. They have a live garden wall within the arena. This place is just freaking top notch, Greg.
Yeah. Oh, it's cool. It's cool. I was watching NHL Network last night, and they were having Joey Decord, their rookie goaltender, walk through and doing TikToks and different stuff with them, and it was absolutely incredible seeing everything that has got into this arena. The fact that it is the first arena that is carbon net zero in the world, not just in North America, not just in the US,
internationally.
In the world. Yeah. Like, it's just absolutely incredible. And the fact that it's built in a way that it is going to rival, Vegas, it's going to rival Winnipeg for the loudest, barns in the NHL. I'm stoked, man. I cannot wait to get in there someday. I can't wait to watch a game up in Seattle, especially having visited Seattle this summer. I fell in love with the city. It's a place that I definitely will be spending a lot of time over the years, and I cannot wait to see some hockey games in that building, because it is so cool.
I want to do a road trip up there with like a bunch of people from RMSR and just buy like a group sale of tickets. But like, as we spoke off air before we started, I was looking at ticket prices for everything, and, home and away games throughout the country. I think the max was about $50 in most places. Not Seattle. Seattle ticket prices are $179. That's the cheapest I could find at the point in time. I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and say no right now.
Right.
But I think we only traveled to Seattle once this year with the Avs, and that's November 19th, I think.
7th. Either 19th or 17th.
November 19th, Friday, November 19th, which means I would have about 40, 30 hours after that to get back in time to see Gabriel Iglesias at Ball Arena on the 21st. So if I do go, we're going to the game. We're going to drive back probably about 6 hours after once we crash at a hotel and sleep.
Yeah.
So anybody who wants to go on a road trip to Seattle, I might just have to bite the bullet on the ticket price, which I don't want to do, but we'll see what happens there. Definitely going to be interesting. So like I said, I can't wait to see it. If you haven't seen the videos and stuff on Climate Pledge Arena, go to NHL.com, check them out. Check out Joey Decord's TikTok and stuff like that. Seattle Kraken's TikTok. I'm on the Avalanche TikTok all the time, checking out crazy, stupid stuff they do during practice and everything else. So, but I do believe there's a video out of them talking about how the rainwater's collected and how they did the ice and everything else. I got to go find that video and watch it because I'm absolutely in love with the fact that they collected rainwater to make their hockey rink.
So cool.
It's just phenomenal. Cool. That's so awesome. And then all these other NHL arenas are like, well, they've set the standard. Now we got to meet it. Right. This wasn't a cheap place, though. This was like $1.5 billion poured into this arena. So a lot of money went into this. My freaking hockey fees is being stupid. So I'm going to waste my phone battery here in a little bit to run this. Early season surprises, Greg. Are there any early season surprises for you?
Yeah, I've got a couple. The number one for me being Darren Helm. I was not excited about the signing. I have talked, in our last episode, I talked about how the NHL is a young man's game, and I still very much stick behind that. Your veteran leadership has gone from being, anybody from like 32, 33 up to like almost 40s, and has switched to now being like anybody that's like 28 up to like 32. And he has come out. He's got speed. He's still got the wherewithal. He is actually, I feel like, has meshed very well with Logan O'Connor. The play in which he got his goal in Washington.
That was a beautiful play. That was a beautiful goal.
It was. I mean, he put himself in the perfect spot. He fought for the spot. It's not like he just happened to be there. He's very much surprised me. I was not expecting him to come out and play the way that he has. I think he's going to end up being a very important part to this Avs team, especially down the stretch. When they're really looking for the veteran leadership to really make an impact, I think he's going to be a big player in that. The other thing for me is Sam Girard has not looked good.
No.
I have been on the Sam Girard hype train for a couple of years now. I mean, since he got here, I really thought that he was going to be just an absolute stud. I really, I was really impressed with how he picked up the slack last season when both, Cale Makar was out and, EJ was out and he had to step up and play almost 30 minutes a game at times. And he just absolutely killed it. He did phenomenal, was picking up points left and right, really took the reins and ran with it. He's not looked good this season. It feels like he's, kind of shirking away from a lot of stuff. There's been a lot of turnovers. That's been the biggest thing that I've had an issue with it is the turnovers and unforced.
Avalanche score. Mikko Rantanen scoring this another goal of the game. What a play. Didn't mean to interrupt you there, but that was fantastic.
Good. Beautiful 2-on-1.
Goodness.
Beautiful 2-on-1. And seeing everybody that was worried about Nathan McKinnon, he's now got 4 points, all 4 are assists, but
fantastic. McKinnon skating down the left side, the 2-on-1, right over to Rantanen, right in his office too. Just blasted by Vasilevsky. So what a fantastic goal for the Avs to recapture this lead in this game, going up 2-1. That's just that's just solid play end to end. Bo Byram's hyped on the bench right there, guys. Love seeing that energy from a young player like Bo Byram. I will speak to this. You're saying Darren Helm. I'm right with you, man. Such a surprise to see how well he's done. I know a lot of purists in the Avalanche country. Darren Helm, Detroit Red Wings. I'm like, bro, if he can help our team, by all means. I'm not going to care either way where you go with it.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, like you said, Samuel Girard. Yeah, that's been kind of a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people. A lot of Avs fans are unhappy.
Mhm.
I think one of the groups I'm in, they're like, "Hey guys, chill out. I understand being upset with a player or whatever," because Gerard's dad is actually involved in some of the groups on Facebook. Like
Huh.
he checks
Interesting.
things out. So like bad mouthing his son and stuff, kind of
Yeah.
hurts the feelings a little bit. But I get it.
Yeah.
Gerard's struggle, which brings up my question for you, Greg.
Mhm.
A healthy Devin Tays comes back.
Mhm.
Is Gerard the odd man out in majority of games, especially if it comes to a bigger size Devin Tays um, against
Eh,
more physical teams like Vegas?
Yeah. It would be very interesting to see. I don't think so. I feel like Bednar has way too much faith in him. He very much trusts Gerard and trusts his ability to play the game the way that he needs to. Um, I feel like because of what he brings offensively, um, it would probably turn into like Ryan Murray being the odd man out, maybe even Jack Johnson, and kind of between
Mhm.
those two. I feel like just the core of Makar, Byram, Devon Taves, uh, EJ, and Sam Gerard. Like that's hard for any of those five to not be in there as long as they're all healthy. And so I feel
Yeah.
like it would come down to Ryan Murray or Jack Johnson as being the odd man out.
Okay.
However, to your point, that might not be the worst idea. Being completely honest, if we are in just a rock'em sock'em slobber knocker game against just a big team, I personally would rather see the big guys out there than good save, Darcy. I'd much rather see those big guys than Sammy, who like I say, he's kind of shirking away from stuff. He's given up those unforced turnovers, and that's an absolute killer to any team. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
One
what we
hundred
had with
percent.
Nemeth last year that lost us. That lost us games in the playoffs. It's those
So
unforced turnovers.
let's
So
fast forward a bit,
mhm,
and I know this is pure speculation on my part. Trade deadline approaches.
mhm,
Devin Tays is in Devin Tays form. He's got you 10 to 15 goals, about the same number of assists, possibly from a defensive standpoint. Jack Johnson and Jack Johnson and Murray are doing you well on the defensive end of things. Bo Byram continues to fight for a potential Calder Trophy nomination and stuff like that.
mhm,
Does Gerard, being one of those top five defenders you've had for the last few seasons,
mhm.
become trade bait?
I wouldn't be. I personally, I'd be against it just because, like I say, I really like Sammy. I think he
But
brings
put your Joe Sakic
a
hat on,
lot to this.
man.
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be the hard part. Um, the
Knowing that in the playoffs, defensive depth has hurt you too. So,
right, right, yeah, and so that's what makes it very difficult. Is yeah, if we're looking at everybody, you know, meshing and everybody's firing on all cylinders, but then suddenly Kale is out. That's tough. Suddenly Devon Taves is out again. That becomes very difficult to then say, "Oh, good job, Bowen. Good job, buddy."
that was a beautiful
Um,
save right there.
it becomes very difficult to then say, "Oh, not having Sammy G is for the best." The thing that I feel like really needs to get looked at is he's still only 23. He is still a kid. He's only 1 year older than Makar,
Yeah.
and Makar, we all are pretty much on the same page, is the best defenseman in the league. So it's not like he's expendable in the way of, oh, it makes our team younger, oh, it gets us better prospects or anything like that. He's kind of right there in that kind of perfect place to be, so long as his game can take that next step. And so it's tough to say that he should be trade bait in any way, more than just he needs to pick it up. And that's really all it kind of comes down to as far as he's concerned.
I know somebody's going to listen to this podcast or something later on once I get it published, and they're like, "Oh hell yeah, Sam Girard's trade bait, get rid of him." Cool the horses just a little bit, yes, but the things we're talking about, the defensive depth that's killed us the last 3 years in the playoffs. Yeah. Had Bo Byram and Erik Johnson been healthy against Vegas, does that series look different last year? Did we advance to the to the conference finals? Potentially. That second round matchup against Vegas was a Western Conference Finals matchup, and what should have been a Western Conference Finals matchup, but because of COVID and divisions and bubbles and all this other stuff, it was a second round matchup.
Right.
So food for thought when it comes to that stuff right there.
Yeah. The one thing that I will say though is that there's still a gentleman who we are very much fans of, who could very easily fill into that depth that for whatever reason we just didn't see last year in the playoffs. That's Jacob McDonald. So
100%, yeah, 100%. So
it's not like we're completely screwed if someone drops.
There's possibilities in and around that stuff. Kemper covers it up. I got 3:37 left to go in the second here on my phone. We'll see what there. As far as early season surprises for me. Or actually, I'm gonna take Mike Herschel and give you guys his, aka Big Hirsch, who's not with us right now. I can't hear you. I lost your audio, buddy. Oh, you're talking.
You're good. You're good. Yeah.
But Mike Herschel's early season surprise, or one of his favorites, is Logan O'Connor, who he has deemed OC for the rest of the season. He's not going to call him O'Connor anymore. He's just going to call him OC. And OC has balled out this game against Tampa Bay so far. I mean, he's drawn a penalty. He's played well defensively on special team, on penalty kills and stuff. So he's doing a great job as far as an early season surprise. Early season surprise for me personally, I would think I would have to say the energy and leadership ability of Bo Byram.
I'm right there with you.
This is a guy who came into the league last year, played a number of games, sat out with injuries and all this other stuff. Comes back this year, is listed as a rookie based on games played and his contract obligations and everything, and is in the running for the Calder Trophy. He's already got 5 points on the season, which is, I think, ties rookies, 1 goal, 4 assists so far. But his energy and just his, him, just kind of sitting there and being like, hey, look, this is what we need to focus on. This is what we need to do. This is what coach wants. Is fantastic. It's fantastic to see from such a young player, especially with an expiring contract in the next couple seasons of one Erik Johnson, who wears the A on the defense. You need somebody who's going to be able to take over that mantle whenever Erik Johnson is let go, retires, whatever the case may be. And I think Bo Byram's a perfect person for that.
Dude, 100% I agree with you there, especially because when you look at Cale Makar, he's still a little bit kind of soft-spoken. He doesn't he's absolutely the best defenseman as far as skill is concerned. I don't really see the take control and be the leader style from his game. Whereas Bo, oh, absolutely. I mean, the fact that Pat Maroon, who has won 3 Stanley Cups in a row, is cheap-shotting him, is going after him every chance he gets. The fact that last year he punched Ryan Getzlaf in the face. I mean, dude, the kid is just ready for this league. He was built for it, and he is absolutely shining. So I'm 100% there with you that, if we end up losing EJ when the contract expires, and there's a good chance we might, simply because of the age, he's the longest tenured player in Colorado right now of any sport. There's a good chance that Bo is the one that comes out and, says, all right, guys, we lost EJ, but don't worry, I'm here. Put the A on my chest because you're not going to be disappointed.
Yeah. And hopefully he continues that, and Sakic and the rest of the front office and coaches see it, and he becomes early candidate for taking over that alternative captain on the defensive side for the defense there. So something I didn't post here, and something I really want to check as we got about 20 minutes left, and we'll finish it off with this, and we'll let people get back to the game. 2 minutes left in the second period, but I want us to be able to enjoy the third period as well as much as our other fans do and whatnot. Is the number of goalies changing teams this year was incredible. Darcy Kemper comes to Colorado. Aiden Hill goes to San Jose. So Arizona's just like,
poor Arizona, man.
Where's our goalie?
yeah. I don't know what they're gonna be able to do, man.
You had Mikko Koskinen go up to Edmonton, Frederik Andersen, Toronto to Carolina.
Braden Holtby. Braden Holtby from Vancouver to Dallas.
Craig Anderson's in Buffalo. Let's see. Jonathan Bernier's in New Jersey. Alex Nedeljkovic is in Detroit. It's just incredible to see the number of goalies changing places. Martin Jones is in Philadelphia. With Carter Hart. I mean, it's just incredible to see the number of goalies changing teams and doing fairly well. Linus Ullmark, he's in Boston now, left Buffalo last year and had a solid game last night against Buffalo. I mean, people talk about goalies being, the one to blame when a team loses. Goalies take the most crap from everybody because they get that statistic. They get that L.
Right.
Whether the game is in their favor or not, that's why early on here in Colorado, Darcy Kemper is getting a lot of, he sucks and he's not that great and blah, blah, blah. His defense has let him down a few times. It's early. Chemistry is an issue. Chemistry is something that doesn't come natural to a lot of teams. So that's why you see, teams with big, expensive rosters sometimes struggling, in other sports. Look at the Yankees this year. Look at, in baseball.
Look at the Lakers.
Yeah, look at the Lakers. Look at the old man squad in LA, guys. Basketball. Those kinds of things happen. But if you go to a solid team, I guarantee you Linus Ullmark's going to have a great season in Boston. He's probably going to have a career year in Boston because he's playing with a stouter defense than what he was in Buffalo. Braden Holtby down in Dallas. Dallas is a playoff caliber team, so he's going to do well there. Alex Nedeljkovic had a great year in Carolina last year against a stout defense in front of him. Now he's in Detroit. You don't know what you're going to get in Detroit.
Yeah. That didn't look good. Just had a rough collision.
That's Cernak just pulling Byram. Byram
out of it.
Somebody got smacked around.
Yeah, it looked like it was maybe a knee to knee, which is never good.
Whose knee and whose knee?
It looked like Rantanen.
Rantanen's still down on the ice?
Yeah. Who's number 7 for Tampa? Who was that? Joseph?
Oh, man. Byram's not afraid to, dude. Byram, I'm telling you, man.
he's amazing. Just what an absolute stud.
He's going toe to toe, standing there tripping with Cernak.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was Joseph. Yeah, Joseph and Rantanen. Oh,
Rantanen went in for the hit, and Joseph just kind of deked it.
Yeah, it's not good. That's not good. I'm glad that they're both all right. I mean, because I don't know if you saw, Drew Doughty is probably out for a hot minute because of the game last night where he got knee to knee in Dallas, and it was it was absolutely brutal. And God, man, those knee to knees, they're no joke. They're absolutely destructive.
I honestly don't think the hit itself warrants a penalty.
Yeah, it seemed very, very incidental. It did not look.
It looks like Rantanen came in for an open ice hit. Joseph deked around it and just left his knee got caught in the crossfire.
Yeah.
I don't think it was malicious in any way.
Yeah, no.
Cernak Stamkos is pissed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he went to go hit him high, and legs just got tangled up there. So
yeah, no, that's just Joseph made the move, and it just put him right into knee situation. Well, I say, hopefully, it looks like everybody's okay. So that's the important thing. We're gonna see if it leads to any penalties or anything.
Yeah, what Levi says, ouchie.
Yeah, ouchie indeed.
That hurt.
Ouchie indeed. But yeah, anyway, while they're getting this figured out, I do actually want to jump back to one of the things you talked about, like right near the start of our broadcast, and that was this question.
The chemistry.
Any minor tweaks?
Any
minor tweaks you want to see the Avs make? For me, it's the physicality. 100%. I feel like the issue that we have seen in the 3 losses was the lack of physicality when coming into the defensive zone. You had so many situations. I look at the Kuznetsov goal, the first goal against in Washington. They allowed him to just walk straight down between them. And that was between Bo Byram and between Cale Makar. Someone's got to step up. I don't care who. You cannot let him walk in. And it has happened time and time again. There's a perfect GIF where is here matching minors. Yeah, I think they said matching minors 4-on-4. Yep. Okay, cool.
I'm watching the last few seconds of this game. I'm expecting a scruff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I would imagine so. But then there was there's a perfect GIF that anytime someone's talking about Kemper being an issue, there's a perfect GIF that shows Sam Girard and it may have been Ryan Murray or somebody else was in front of him, and he sees the player curl for Florida, or I'm sorry, not for Florida, for Washington, sees the player curl with the puck, and you see Kemper point him out and say, jump up, get in front of him, and nobody does. They just stand back, they kind of back up a little bit, and he's able to just make a perfect shot over to the far post. That's not Kemper's fault. He knew the shot was coming.
He pointed out the shot was coming.
Yeah, he told his defense exactly what to do. Step up, take this body. You get in his way, that goal doesn't happen. So that's for me the minor tweak I want to see the Avs make is, man, if it's, I don't know, like things in practice, if it's working on taking the body more so than taking the puck, because that's with the issues that Cale Makar is having, the reason that he's -6, to me, the reason for that, he's not stepping up on anybody. He's always going for the puck. And he's jumping up in the play. I love to see that. I love aggressive defensemen when it comes to the offensive zone. But that you run into the issue then of sending the play the other way and nobody trying to physically take the guy out of the play. They're always going for the puck. That's one of the issues I'm having with Sam Girard with this season is I've yet to see him even try to hit anybody. Everything has been, okay, let's go for the puck. Yeah, the puck's the most important part. You can't score without it. But
Makar's lack of stepping into plays or stepping in to potentially prevent these rushes into the zone be related to injuries he's had in the first 3 years?
I would imagine so. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of phantom issues there of
here's what you need to do, Makar. Go to your local GNC, grab you a fucking thing of protein, and get on it.
That's right. Bulk up, buddy.
Bulk up, buddy. Let's go. Your pairing right there. Your pairing buddy, Bo Byram could probably give you some tips.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. And he's putting on good size.
Levi is singing.
That's right. But yeah, for me, that's where the issue really stems from. You have the chemistry issue. Sure, that's there. I don't think it's that big. The biggest issue I see of this team having is just simply they let people walk into the zone. You can't allow that. You are an NHL team. I was in Pee-wees being screamed at, don't let them enter the zone.
Yeah,
you can't do that
agrees with us.
man.
Creatine up.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to get on it there, Cale Makar. Bo Byram showing you up already, man.
Yeah.
You got to do something about it. If you don't, you're going to be screwed. It is the end of the second period. The Avalanche are up 2-1 at second intermission. Expect Tampa Bay to come out in this third period hungry, especially after that no call. They wanted more of a no call than more of a call than what they got with the matching minors there. So I expect players like Cernak and Stamkos to really go after the Avalanche here in this final period.
Yeah, I'm sure for some reason Maroon is going to throw Byram over the boards. Like he's going to try something. I'm sure
he's going to try. I don't know if we're going to get one of those like Revenge of the Sith. You may try type moments, or if it's just going to be like like Mighty Ducks. I'm going to go for the hit and I'm going to completely mess and send myself into the bench.
Right.
Type deals, but it is definitely going to be interesting to see how it all plays out here in the third period. So let's do this real quick. A quick little update on games across the league tonight. We are in overtime in Minnesota. Looks like they're about to go to a shootout, side 3-3. Jets lead the Predators. Red Wings are losing 5-1 to Canadians. I always call them Canada. I don't know why.
The Montreal Canada.
Montreal Canadiens. Sabres are up 1-0 on the Devils. Panthers and Flyers are tied at 2. Penguins are beating up on the Leafs 5-1. Maple Leafs, I think, played last night and are just look terrible right now.
Yeah, the Leafs are struggling.
Hey, Austin Matthews, how's that NHL cover going for you? Your second one, right?
Yeah.
Hurricanes are beating the Blue Jackets 3-1 at the end of the second, and the Blues lead the Kings 2-1 at the end of the first. Later games tonight, you have the Islanders in Arizona taking on the Coyotes, who are 0-3-1. Canucks head to Seattle. Seattle's first game at home. Rangers beat the Senators 3-2. Flames beat the Caps in overtime 4-3. Ovechkin getting his 5th goal of the season today. So Ovi continues to climb the ladder. A lot of things going on there. Any surprises NHL wise?
Yeah, buddy, Edmonton. 5-0. The team that cannot close out a playoff series is just on fire.
Smoking right now.
And obviously you have Connor McDavid. We all know the man. We all know what he's capable of. He is currently on a pace for well over 200 points this year if he were to keep it up. He has 13 points through 5 games. Absolutely nuts. The first player since Wayne Gretzky to do that. And the big one for me is Zach Hyman, man, went from Toronto to Edmonton and is just tearing it up. Has 5 goals already in the 5 games, 2 games in a row of scoring 2 goals. Like, I think he may have found his place. And, I know a lot of fans in Toronto were kind of okay letting him go because they thought, he's good, but he's not that good. And he's proven he's that good. And to be in a place with McDavid and Draisaitl, oh yeah. Oh god.
Yeah, he just didn't want to play. He didn't want to play with Austin anymore. He's like, I'm going to take my stick and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that's what you got going on there. Speaking of undefeated teams, you still have a number of them in the league. San Jose is right there with Edmonton in the Pacific, 4-0. Here in the Central, Minnesota's 4-0. St. Louis is 3-0. Florida with Quenneville, they're 4-0. And Washington and Carolina are both Carolina's 3-0 in their games, as Washington is 3-0-2 in their sets. But it's shaping up to be kind of an interesting start. Surprises for me, the New York Islanders are struggling right now, 1-2-1. That kind of surprises me. The Canadiens with that Carey Price are looking kind of lost. 0-5-0. They haven't won a single game yet. Chicago, even with Marc-Andre Fleury and net, are struggling right now. They got to figure something else out there. And Vegas. Vegas 1-3-0 with Robbie Leonard in net full time.
Yeah.
You sure you guys did the right thing and letting Fleury go?
Right. Yeah, I bet they're regretting that tweet right now.
They're like, son of a god.
Yeah, Vegas definitely surprises me too, but I feel like they're kind of in a similar situation as the Avs. I mean, they're currently
Chemistry.
missing and they're currently missing Max Pacioretty. They're missing Mark
Yep.
Stone. I mean, they've got some big pieces that are out right now. So I'm sure, again, this is kind of a mark my words thing. We're gonna see the Avs and we're gonna see the Golden Knights on the top of their respective divisions once all is said and done. It's gonna take time, the hot starts I feel like are more surprising than the cold starts in this one. I'm way more surprised about Buffalo and Edmonton than I am about the Avs
100%.
in Vegas.
Yeah, the hot start by Buffalo going 3-0. They lost their first game against Boston last night, but like I said earlier in the show, it was a tight game. I watched some of that game. It was pretty tight. Came down to an empty net goal to give them a 2-goal lead. Taylor Hall coming out of the penalty box, just kind of like,
like what a perfect setup too, man. That long pass off the boards, just straight in front of the net for him to just snap it. Like,
and
man,
the stare he gave to the fans in Buffalo, or at least those who were there, who were like booing him the entire night, is like, are you not entertained?
So
it was awesome to see. But I'm with you on Edmonton, man. Connor McDavid being Connor McDavid, Puliarvi, Draisaitl, Hyman, all those players up there, Barry, among others, are just, regular season, let's tear it up.
Yeah.
They kind of remind me of like college dorm life. Yeah, party. Let's get this going. And all of a sudden it comes time for the final test, and they're like, I don't understand why I got an F.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the crunch time really comes in, the important part, and they're just non-existent.
I tell you what, guys, let's go ahead and do another playoff bubble up in Edmonton and Montreal or wherever the other one was, and let the host team lose on their ice in the first round. I guarantee it's going to happen.
Absolutely. And it's funny to me is they're kind of becoming a Toronto. Because of how Toronto they've been good recently. Obviously, they went through a lot of years where they just were not, but they hit a good stretch of being very good during the regular season and then losing the first round. We're kind of seeing that with Edmonton now. They've just torn up the regular season the last couple of years and can't do anything once they hit the playoffs. So we're Canada.
I'm not going to say let's hope to see if Edmonton turns it around. I'm not going to give them the good vibes. I will hope that the Avs can get past the second round this year. 3 consecutive years, we'll keep an eye on that. But like you said, Greg, it is a long season. Some of these hot starts will flame out. Some of these poor starts by playoff caliber teams will start to heat up, and all will be right in the world. And, the axis will spin the correct way and the stars will align and all that jazz. So we'll see how it goes. And Levi, the song of the people.
That's right. One thing that I do want to bring up, and I actually brought it up on Twitter, and I'm mad I didn't get any replies. Detroit, another hot start team, another one that's kind of surprising, but something that I am so curious about and really want some answers. I wish I had gotten some replies. When you see Tyler Bertuzzi come out in game number 1, score 4 goals against Tampa Bay, how do you not get upset at the fact that he's going to miss every game in Canada? He's going to miss every game in New York. He's going to miss every game in LA. Like, how as a fan of Detroit, and I'm not going to make this an issue of, go get vaccinated, blah, blah. It's your choice. But as a fan of a team, how do you not look at this man night in and night out, just screaming at him, go get vaccinated so that you're not missing these damn games?
See, what they need to do is they need to find him while they're at their practice facility and he's walking out to his car and just bum rush him and have somebody there with a vaccine. Just
got him, guys. All right, now get your ass up.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, at least he's able to play some games. You could do what the Nets did with Kyrie Irving and be like, nah, we're just gonna throw you away, buddy.
Yep.
You don't want to get vaccinated? Okay, we're not going to pay you.
Right. Yeah, God, what did I see? He's going to lose, as far as Bertuzzi. He's going to miss a lot of money because
he's missing out on a ton of money because he can't play in these games, man. Like a vaccine assassin. Yes.
That's right. Just drops from the ceiling, just tackles him.
All of a sudden, you just hear an eagle screech, and you're like, huh?
Yes.
All right, guys.
Like
that's going to do it for us here. Levi, thanks for tuning in, man, and giving us some stuff to laugh about. Absolutely enjoy it. Join us next week, next Saturday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, for some more In the Crease hockey news and chit chat. We'll be here every Saturday, 6 p.m., rain or shine, snow, whatever else is going on, whether there's a hockey game going on or not for the Avs. We're going to be here chit chatting some hockey and everything else. Looking forward to hearing from you guys again. Greg, any parting shots before we get out of here, man?
Again, like I said at the start, man, bringing in the Aaron Rodgers, RELAX, everybody. We're already seeing it's going to click. It's going to happen. We're already playing better against the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions than we did the last 3 games. Relax.
Yep.
Everything will work out. It'll all be fine.
I ditto to what Greg just said. Relax, guys. Chill out. Calm down. Take a chill pill. Whatever you got to do. Depending on where you're at, pop an edible. Have a great time. Just sit back, watch the game, and enjoy the third period. We're going to go do the same. Thank you guys for tuning in, for commenting and chatting along with us. Always happy to have you guys on and chit-chat with us as we do our show. That's going to do it for us, guys. Go out, enjoy the third period. Let's get an Avs win. Let's get back in the winning column before we come back home to take on the Vegas Golden Knights next week. Until then, guys, enjoy the rest of the game. Be safe, be good people, and be excellent to each other. We'll see you guys next Saturday.